Hi, thanks for joining me. Today we're going to take a quick look at this one area of a sewing machine and why it is so important for your sewing projects. To keep it short and sweet, I'm only going to focus on modern machines, but all machines work in a similar way. Let's check out what is actually hidden in this little gap. So behind the cover here is the tension unit with the tension dial, and at the business end there are two tension discs that sit squarely in this gap. These are two circular plates that open to release the thread and close to keep tension on it while you sew. In this picture they're closed, but don't worry about that for now. Let's take a closer look. So this is a part of the tension unit you usually see poking out the top of your machine, and let's decrease the tension all the way to 0. You can see here that the tension discs are really loose. I can move them easily, and watch what happens to this black spring as I increase the tension slowly. You can see that it's compressing more and more against the tension discs, and once you get to number 9, the tension is really strong and it's impossible to open the tension discs. So if we put it back down to 5, which is what most of us usually have it on, you can see there's a firm grip, but it's not an iron grip. And if we flip it over, you can see this bar here, and that's actually related to the presser foot. So if I recreate what the presser foot does, and when it's lifted up, ta-da, the discs are forced apart, and they will stay in this position for as long as the presser foot stays up. So let's take a look at this from another angle. So the tension discs are together, and then you lift the presser foot up and they jump apart. And now there is plenty of room for you to pass the thread through once you're threading up your machine. Here's what it looks like in real life. And then when you're ready to start sewing, you put the presser foot down and then snap. The tension discs are together to hold your thread in place with the exact amount of tension that you want, which here is at number 5. So far, so simple, right? Well, normally you can't see in that tiny gap to see whether the tiny thread has gone into the tiny discs. So what happens if, God forbid, you start threading the machine with the presser foot down? You start sewing merrily, thinking your tension is on 5 or whatever, but it's actually just flailing around on the outside of the discs. The discs are closed and there is no way the thread will ever get in there. So sooner rather than later, you'll end up with something like this, which is why the advice is, if you're having a problem with bird nesting or looping, the first thing to try is rethreading your upper tension. It's a very common mistake and it's an easy mistake to make, but it's also easily rectified once you know how. So if you're having any trouble, always rethread your upper thread and double check that the presser foot is up. So I hope that this video has been even a little bit helpful in explaining this mysterious part of your sewing machine and how it relates to the quality of your stitching and the ability of your machine to do its job properly. So let me know in the comments, have you had issues with tension before? And if so, how did you manage to resolve them? Thanks for watching and hope to see you again soon. Bye!